After an attack in April in Indian-administered Kashmir, which killed 26 civilians, the Indian government blamed the violence on Pakistan and ordered most Pakistani citizens living in India to leave. Hundreds were forced to depart within days. Now, more than 7 months on, many are still waiting, with little information on whether they will ever be allowed to return. DW's Adil Bhat reports from the Indian capital, New Delhi.
Moments like this have become part of daily life for this family. Mohammed Shahbaz is on video call with his wife Iram, who was deported to Pakistan following the deadly attack in Kashmir in April this year. It's now the only way the family comes together, through a screen. And their 9-year-old son Almir is bearing the weight of that separation.
How is this our fault? You tell me, what is our role in the tragedy that happened in Kashmir? What has this child done wrong? Our child is being punished for that incident. My son is being deprived of his parents, his family.
Iram now lives in Pakistan, separated from her husband and child for the past 8 months.
I'm just surviving. I pass my time day by day. My life has no meaning. A mother's child is the center of her life. I can't express my emotions in words.
In April, extremists killed 26 civilians in Indian part of the disputed Kashmir region. India blamed Pakistan for the attack, accusing its neighbor of sponsoring cross-border terrorism. As part of its response, Delhi cancelled the visas of almost all Pakistani citizens and gave them just days to leave. Families scrambled to comply, and emotional scenes like this unfolded at the mainland crossing between the two countries. Shahbaz captured on video the last moments at the border before Iram was separated from him and their son.
The moment I left my son, I couldn't understand anything. I felt numb. Why we have to be separated like this? I just couldn't understand why.
At home, Shahbaz walks us through memories of a life they once shared. They got married in 2014. Iram came from Pakistan to India on a long-term visa, and they built a home together. In March 2020, Iram traveled to Pakistan to visit her family. Days later, the COVID lockdowns closed the borders. Her Indian visa expired while she was away in Pakistan. For 5 years, Shahbaz kept applying for a new Indian visa for his wife, but every request was rejected. Then in April this year, the approval finally came. Iram returned to Delhi on April 17. Just 12 days later, after the Kashmir attack, she was ordered to leave India again.
When you met your wife after such a long time and then are separated again, you cannot imagine that pain. Sometimes you can't explain it in words. I wouldn't want to wish this on anyone.
For Shahbaz, the hardship doesn't end there. He says any association with Pakistan attracts suspicion in a country that views its neighbor as an enemy state. And for his son, that suspicion has real consequences.
I've been trying to get my kid admitted to school, but at both government-run or private schools, as soon as they learn of my son's Pakistani family background, they get scared and then they say they're sorry.
For months now, Shahbaz has been visiting government offices, meeting officials, trying to find a way to bring his wife back. So far, he says all efforts have been in vain. DW asked India's Home Ministry whether there are plans to allow families to reunite, but did not get a response.
Now, Harsh Mandit joins us now. He is a former IAS officer. He's also a human rights activist and a writer whose family endured partition's trauma, which is shaping his lifelong peace advocacy between India and Pakistan. So very good to have you with us here on DW. So as a peace advocate for India-Pakistan divided families, how can the affected families appeal to authorities and prove that they're being punished for a crime they've not committed?
Yes, I think it's really unfortunate that that people are being punished for crimes that are claimed to have been done by the establishment of their countries. I mean, there was a horrific terror attack. The Indian government is convinced that the military establishment and the government establishment in Pakistan was responsible. Even if that is true, there is no reason for people of Pakistani identity who are here have made families, have children, to be punished for crimes of their government. And I think that we really need to underline this, not just in India, I think in many parts of the world. Why should innocent citizens have to bear responsibility for acts of violence by people which they neither planned or endorsed?
Right.
And
now,
I think...
Yeah. I was just wondering if you could also shed some light on the fact that visas being revoked and obviously splitting partners, splitting spouses. And this, to me, sounds like this could violate India's constitutional rights for long-term residents. And that is something that you've highlighted in past cases, because you said it's not right that innocents are being punished. So if it actually violates constitutional rights, is there something that can be done about it?
There's a history. In India and Pakistan were one country till 1947. When the British left, people of Muslim identity had a choice in India whether they would choose India, which is a multi-religious state, or Pakistan, which is an Islamic state. The Indian Muslims who chose India actually are Indian by choice. They have, I think, the foremost claim to this country. But in the propaganda of this far-right regime that we have, the Indian Muslim is somehow equated with Pakistan, which is then seen as the enemy. And therefore, the idea of constitutional rights equally applicable to people of Muslim identity has sort of withered away. I think that I haven't seen courts standing up for the defense of these constitutional rights. And I think that's a big moral and legal flaw.
Yeah. And Harsh, just very briefly, if you could, because we are running out of time, but what urgent humanitarian intervention do you see that can help to reunite infants with their mothers in this very moment?
I think it has to be, people all over the world, governments all over the world need to stand with these families separated. And I think we probably have examples like this in other conflict areas of the world that, resolve that innocent civilians should not bear the brunt of acts of their government. I think that needs
to be spelled out also by the international community. Harsh Manda there, human rights activist. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you.